Today we're going to talk about changing your power, and it can be as simple as what you wear or even changing the location of where you film a YouTube. Today we are going to talk about taking back your power. Now, if you're wondering, you're like, Lonnie, what are you talking about? I have been doing a series of YouTubes based on a TikTok I did. So I'm going to show you the TikTok really quick so you can get caught up with us. And here you go. This is a TikTok that I did, just basically stating how I rewrote my story after 50. Yesterday, I did my story on sobriety because again, none of this would be here without my sobriety. When I was editing the YouTube, I noticed that my body language, I noticed that my face, I just noticed my energy was a little protected. And I gotta tell you, I protect my power, I protect my energy ferociously. And and I enjoy sharing my sober story, but you know what? Sometimes it takes a little bit out of me having to look back at where I was, having to remember those feelings, and just having to basically relive what a horrible part of that life I was in can take some energy out of me. So today, I think it's in perfect order. We're going to talk about taking back your power, and not only about taking back your power, but protecting the power and the energy that you have. Now, for me, I had to take back my power. And I know I keep saying it, and you're like, okay, Lonnie, you've said this like 20 times. What do you mean? What I mean by that is leading up to that moment, leading up to when I decided to hit that reset button and rewrite my own story, I was drained of my energy. I was drained of my inner flame. I was going through the motions, but I had no passion for life. And what just happened to me personally is just over time and circumstances and things that happened in my life, I was feeling very not in control. I was feeling like I was a passenger in my journey of life. I wasn't the driver. And it really made a big difference to me when I decided to get out of the passenger seat, get into the driver's seat, and start being like, I'm going to be in control of my life, and I'm going to control what path it goes down, and I'm going to control who's going to be in my life. I had to start taking back that power. I had to start rejuvenating, recharging, re-energizing me. And I'm always talking about self-love. I'm talking about self-care. I'm talking about taking care of yourself. And it can't be any more important, and I can't say it enough, but you have to look inward and you have to take care of yourself. You have to fan the flame that is you, and you need to recapture any power, any energy, anything that you feel that you have lost. There I was. Okay, let's do a little flashback, because again, that's my sound effects. Let's go back to that moment I decided to rewrite my life story. Again, I keep on saying I didn't have any power and I didn't have any control. And the circumstances that were called my life was very much, my voice was never heard. And by that I meant as a child, I was the invisible child. You know, I love my parents dearly, but I could come home completely drunk, bouncing off the walls, and they wouldn't see me. So I didn't feel like I had any voice. I didn't feel like I had any power because I couldn't get any reaction out of anybody. So then I get married, and I am in an unhappy marriage, and you know what? Sometimes an abusive relationship doesn't always have to be physical. And you can be in a relationship where you're just with somebody you love who is just hurting you immensely, and you have no physical scars. So I'm getting drained emotionally in my marriage, and I feel powerless. I'm like, I'm hurting over here, but everybody's looking at the outside in going, you've got the perfect life, you've got the perfect house, you've got the perfect children, you've got the perfect marriage. And it couldn't have been anything. I mean, yes, I had perfect children, but other than that, that was not my life. So I'm like, I had no power and no control over that. So then I get divorced, and all of a sudden it's like my addictions kick in, and I turn into a raging alcoholic for the next 15 years, and I've got no power over that. So I just went from powerless to all of a sudden being like, no, I am going to take control of this, and I'm going to take my power back. You know, as a child, I had no voice. As an adult, I have a very loud voice. I have a voice that if somebody is telling me something and I don't like it, I 100% have the right to tell them, I don't like this. You know, if I am in a relationship and somebody said something that hurts my feelings, I have the power and the authority to say, that is not okay. I'm going to remove myself from that situation. And if you're going to be toxic, you're not going to be a part of my life. I have sobriety. And in my sobriety, I have the power over my addictions. And it has made absolutely 100% difference in how I perceive my life. With this voice, with this energy, I was able to sit down and be like, okay, what needs to change in my life? What do I need to rewrite? And that's one of the most important things that I had to do in rewriting my story, because I gave myself that confidence. If you're out there and you're like, wow, that's really cool, Lonnie, but I don't think I can do that, you know, please know that you can. It doesn't, sometimes when your batteries are depleted and you don't feel like you have any power, it feels like almost an impossible task. Now, a lot of times I go live on TikTok and Instagram all the time, and I get people reaching out to me telling me that they're in relationships with somebody who is narcissistic, and they're basically taking all their energy, and they feel like they just don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. My suggestion for anything like that is, when you're in that kind of relationship and you want to build up your power because you have to, you're doing it for your own sanity, you have to start small and you have to build your power, but you have to hide that from the person who is trying to take that from you. And it's not until you build up enough of your power that you can remove yourself from that situation that you can really let your light shine bright. Please do not feel that it is hopeless for anybody, because I'm telling you again, if I can do it, you can do it, because I literally started my rewriting of my life after 50 completely devastated. I had no self-esteem. I had no confidence. I didn't know if I was going to be able to stay sober. I didn't know any of this was going to happen, but it happened because I took back my power. By taking back your power, you can apply this to all sorts of different things in your life, okay? If you're out there and you don't have anything dramatic that you have to change, you can take your power back by, if you want to start eating healthy. You know what? You're in control of that. Don't let outside forces, don't let outside voices, don't let your inside voice tell you that, you know what, you want to eat healthy, but it's just not going to happen. Give yourself that power to eat the way that you want to. If you want to change your wardrobe, but you're afraid of what people are going to say, take back your power and wear whatever you want. It's your body. It is your look. It is your representation of who you are. Take back that power and start wearing what you want. If you are trying to change anything about your life, but you just feel you can't, it's because somebody, something, somehow you have lost your power in regards to that. So my number one message here, and I will repeat this again, you have to take your power back. Sometimes when we're trying to do things like this, sometimes when we're trying to overcome an addiction or we're trying to change any sort of behavior, addictions, behaviors, things like that are invisible. You cannot see an addiction. You cannot see negativity. You cannot see narcissism. But you can, in your mind, give anything that is stopping you from getting your power a shape. Example, when I decided to get sober, I gave my addiction a form. And it was easier for me to fight that addiction because I gave it a shape, a form, and all of a sudden I was fighting something that I could see. So if you're out there and you really struggle with just making those changes, try to figure out what it is, give that a form, and then be like, I see you, and I'm not going to let you stop me from my best life. And it might sound a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but it really works. It worked for me, and I think it might work for you. So that was today's subject, taking back your power. And like I said earlier in this episode, yesterday I talked about the my sobriety journey, and I'm really glad I did, and I'll be more than happy to continue to talk about it, but it depleted me of a lot of my energy. So I moved locations. Instead of sitting down, I'm standing up. I wore this cute outfit because you know what? I wanted to make myself feel good. I gave a lot of my energy out yesterday, and I have concentrated on getting that back and letting my flame shine bright. So just make those little changes, make those little tweaks, listen to yourself, self-care, mental health. It's so important. And if anything else, I hope I encourage you to do that. So be brave, be bold, be strong, wear what you want. Make little changes in your life and take back that power. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Tomorrow's episode, let's see what we're talking about tomorrow. Tomorrow is Change Your Life. And again, I'm super excited. I think tomorrow's episode is going to be really good too. We're going to talk about making changes in your life so that you can keep that power that you are so wonderfully going to find and apply to your life. If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that like button. If you'd like to stick around and see what I'm going to talk about next, because you just never know what I'm going to talk about, you can hit subscribe. If you'd like to follow me on any of my social media platforms, those are all down below. And until next time, remember, get out of the passenger seat, get into the driver's seat, find your power, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.